You know, one of the things like playing the ukulele that was always challenging for me is like when I'm learning lines, because I don't play with a pick. You know, we always learn to play with fingers, and so classical guitar players, you know, will play this way.
Oh yeah.
Right. So when they're trying to, or like if you're, you know, like Paco, if you're like Paco,
do the flamenco
it's
thing.
amazing, right? What he does, but you know, so I developed this way of playing, so I can play lines where, you know, just my thumb and middle finger.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now, does anybody else in the world do that, or are you like the owner?
I mean, I don't really know, but for me it made more sense because what I like about using a downstroke and an upstroke is now it mimics the pick, you know, versus like classical guitar players, it's up, 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 up. So it's like taking the picking, you know, always picking like that. Like I can get the speed, but the nice thing about the pick is you have a certain tone when you're picking down, and you have a different tone when you're picking up.
Yeah.
You know, so alternating between a downstroke and an upstroke made more sense to me. And the other nice thing about it is when you're doing it this way, there's a when you're doing a downstroke versus an upstroke, there's a like a nanosecond, you know, where you have that articulation between the two notes.
Yeah.
They, you know, they when you do your downstroke and then you're going to do your upstroke, you know, it actually mutes the string for, for you know, this
so instead of going
second.
You're going
Yeah, exactly. So you get you get that kind of articulation, you know, that I really like.
Well, an acoustic instrument, that's so nice. Like,
Yeah.
we've been doing these acoustic shows, and for me, it's kind of a struggle because I'm used to a distorted sound.
Oh, yeah,
where if I pick a note, it's pretty much the same volume as if I pull a note off.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I can use the hammer on pull-off technique to sort of balance between the two hands.
Yeah, it's really interesting, you know, to hear you say things like that, because, you know, I think for me when I was a kid, you know, like listening to you play, it was like, you know, I would never think that you had to struggle with any of those kinds of weaknesses. I mean, you know, like with those kinds of things where, you know, like you had, you know, because I mean, listening to you play, I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, Paul could probably just take any Paganini piece and put it right in front of just, you know, like because your picking technique is so flawless, you know. I mean, it's just.
Well, I use it when it works.
Yeah.
And for a lot of things, it would be terrible, but for some things, it worked great. But for example, you know, one of my most, you know, if I want to come out during sound check and just sort of singe eyebrows, I'll do something like.
Yeah.
And
nice.
It sounds like it's picked because I can pick the first two notes, and I can hit them with a lot of force. But then I've got a vacation because I can do two pull-offs, and then I just pick the note at the end. And I mean, if I tried to pick the whole thing, it wouldn't work at all. I don't know if I can do it, but it just sounds beautiful. And I can actually hit the pick notes harder because I have that little vacation. So
you have
I got a little rest in between.
Yeah.
Or if I just go the whole time, I'll run out of juice really, really quick. So I admire acoustic players of any acoustic instrument so much because, you know, they have to constantly hit everything. You know, they don't get to take that vacation that I get to take. You know, I got distortion.
No, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? I mean, yeah, because I mean, you know, with the ukulele especially, you know, it's so you can't get the sustain is like you get no sustain on this instrument. You know, it's just like and it just dies. I mean, it really took me a long time to play with the you know, to play, and because so much of it is mental, right? And emotional. So, you know, so when you're playing and
it's like, come on,
you're trying to like really milk that note. For me, it's like just even though I know that the note's gone, trying to keep it there as if it's still going, you know, and just hold on to that feeling and that, you know, I mean, for me, that was a big realization, you know, because I realized that as long as I'm still hearing it and feeling it, even though it's not there, you know.
Yeah, you've planted it in the ear.
it's still happening.
Yeah.
You know, the experience is still happening, and it took me, you know, and it's still something I'm trying to, you know, develop, but, you know, and not get caught up in to not be afraid of the silence, or not to be afraid of, you know,
I'm
right?
with you there, man. That's the
the
scariest
key.
thing in the world is silence.
And that's why, like, playing solo for me, you know, it's scary, because once you stop playing, I mean, you know, or once there's nothing happening, it's almost like, wait, so is that dead air? Did the music stop? Or, but, you know, but realizing that, no, it's not, you know, the experience is still happening.
It is so cool though when you actually can control people's perception of silence, and it's not silence anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's still rhythm inside of it. There's still harmonic content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what you played before set it up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do that at a guitar clinic. I'll just start stomping on the ground, and I'll hit one note.
Mm-hmm.
And during that silence, they're still feeling the groove. So it's not really silence anymore.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's just a musical space. Just fill these spaces, but you're right, it's scary.
Yeah.